Hello, my name is Gregor and I'm an Economic and Fiscal Analyst at the Scottish Fiscal Commission. I'm part of the Public Funding and Fiscal Sustainability team. Because of the work we do in our team, we know that the Scottish budget and the way it is funded are complicated. This video is one of a series of video explainers which aim to explain how the Scottish budget works, broken down into bite-sized chunks. This is the second part of our series on the Scottish budget. In the previous video, we explained what the Scottish budget is and spoke about the spending plans it sets out. And a large chunk of that spending is related to devolved social security. So in this video, we'll delve into how devolved social security works, the role of the Scottish Fiscal Commission plays in forecasting the costs of social security benefits, and how the UK government transfers some funding to the Scottish government for devolved social security. There are other videos covering what the budget is, the spending and tax plans it contains, how it is funded, and the overall budget process. You can find these other videos on the Video Explainer section of our website. The Scotland Act of 2016 devolved some areas of the welfare system. Since then, the Scottish Parliament can create new benefits. Disability and carers is the area of devolved social security that currently costs the most. Benefits relating to pregnancy and children are the second largest category by level of spending, and so on, going up the pyramid shown. Most devolved payments are substitutes for UK government benefits, such as adult disability payment replacing UK personal independence payment in Scotland. But some payments are top-ups to reserved benefits with no UK equivalent. For example, the Scottish Child Payment tops up the universal credit of Scottish residents with children. The Scottish Fiscal Commission plays a key role in the devolution of social security. We are the official forecasters of how much these benefits will cost the Scottish Government. Social Security Scotland increasingly handles devolved benefits, but since it's early in the process of handing over payments, the UK Government's Department for Work and Pensions, or DWP, still administers some payments. Twice a year, we produce forecasts for the Scottish Government. The forecast process often starts with the Scottish Government telling us the social security policy it would like. For example, it might want to increase the value of a certain award, or it may wish not to make any changes at all, but will still need a costing for the budget. We take the Scottish Government's policies and then add on the data from devolved social security spending from delivery agencies to produce a forecast. We also look at the data to make assumptions about population changes, number of people applying for payments, and the changes in the average award, inflation, and eligibility, take-up, and exit rates from each payment. We share these forecasts with the government in confidence. We call this a round. The Scottish Government will consider our forecasts and may revisit its policies. In the meantime, we update our models with new data releases and keep an eye on evidence supporting our assumptions in case we need to revisit them. The forecast process is a loop. It is repeated several times, leading to 2 to 4 rounds in total, but we agree a time point with the Scottish Government to settle on its policies so we can finalise the forecast. We share the forecast publicly alongside the budget or medium-term financial strategy in our Scottish Economic and Fiscal Forecasts, otherwise known as CEFs. You can find a link to our CEFs in the description of this video. Since April 2017, the UK Government has gradually transferred responsibility for some of the social security benefits to the Scottish Government. Accordingly, the UK Government transfers funding to the Scottish Government. Specifically, it transfers how much it would have spent on these payments in the absence of devolution. This is called the Social Security Block Grant Adjustments, or BGAs. The starting point is spending on the now devolved benefit in the year before devolution. The amount then changes in line with trends in the equivalent benefits in England and Wales. These remain the UK Government's responsibility. For example, the year after a payment is devolved, the Scottish Government receives the amount it cost the UK Government in Scotland the year before, slightly changed by the England and Wales trends in the first year of devolution.
Just like we forecast the Scottish Government's social security spending, the Office for Budget Responsibility does this for the UK Government, so block grant adjustments are based on forecasts. Forecasts are not always perfectly accurate. Therefore, there is an ongoing system to correct them once the Department for Work and Pensions releases actual spending numbers.
The UK Government transfers funding for payments that the Scottish Government has replaced, but sometimes the Scottish Government changes the rules around the payment or how it's delivered. This can make more people take up the benefit, or it may increase the average award paid. And sometimes the Scottish Government introduces a new payment with no UK equivalent. Because of these reasons, devolved social security ends up costing more than any specific funding received for it. The shortfall must be funded from the rest of the Scottish budget. Currently, the gap is growing. In December 2023, we forecast that by the financial year 28-29, the Scottish Government social security will cost £1.5 billion more than the social security block grant adjustments. Around half of the gap is from brand new payments, and the rest is due to replacement payments increasingly costing more than their UK equivalents. The 1.5 billion number is a slight overestimate though. We make a simplification in the formula on the slide. There are some small social security payments that entail funding through the block grant. As we will explain in Module 4, the Barnett formula makes it hard to estimate how much funding specifically relates to them over time. Therefore, we ignore this funding from the first part of the equation. So, to summarize, since 2016, some parts of the welfare system have been gradually devolved to Scotland, with disability and carers being the largest area of these. The Scottish Fiscal Commission forecasts the cost of social security payments twice a year. We use data from providers and the Scottish Government's policies to do so. The UK Government provides transfers of some extra funding as it stops being responsible for the devolved benefits. Funding that could be used for other priorities is taken up by a growing wedge between social security spending and its funding. Deliberate choices on how to deliver replacement benefits and to introduce brand new payments are the reason behind this. So far, we've covered all the spending choices the Scottish Government makes, but it also has choices to make when it comes to how much funding they have available. Devolved tax is the focus of our next video. That's all for this one. We've hoped you found it useful, and if you're interested in knowing more, you can find more videos in the Video Explainer section of our website. And if you have any feedback or questions on the slides, or any other matter, please get in touch. Our email address is on the slide shown and in the description of the video.